Okay, it's been a while since I've done one of these, so for about due, and especially since it is with no amount of regret that it's no small amount of regret that I have to bring you news that let's just the mass market update of the Concordance is pretty much off for various reasons. Partially, one is personal issues are in the way. DJ's got too much stuff on her plate right now, dealing with trying to take care of John because he's got apparently the COVID. I have poo-pooed COVID a lot in the general sense of the fact that it's not a big deal for the general population, but for those in the high-risk group, over 70, so it's not a joke. So no, they really are dealing with it. So send your happy thoughts and prayers to them as they're trying to deal. We got some great therapeutics out there, and we can nuke out of the water apparently, but sometimes it's a persistent bug. It came back and bit me in the butt about a week or so ago. So yeah, on certain levels, it's not a joke. Yeah. Even vaccinations aren't going to do you much good. It comes in, it's going to bite you. It's going to keep biting you if you're in that target group, which kind of brings a theory that this thing was engineered to take out the old and the weak and the infirm, the non-producers in the eyes of those in the chair. But that's another issue. Now, and main thing is that as Beecher related to me, the powers that be consider the original series to be ancient history. Nobody gives a rip. No point even putting it out, either online or in hard copy. Updates or no updates, no one's going to care. And another big factor is that the current producers and showrunners are greedy little bastards, don't want to share any credit or royalties. That's kind of the dirty little secret of why there are 20-some producers and executive producers listed. Normally, that's just the staff writers. And writers only get credited for, they get royalties on episodes they wrote. But if you're an executive producer and your credits are in every damn episode, you get a check for every damn episode. That's the thing right there. They're a bunch of greedy little fuck pigs who want to bleed this thing for what it's worth. They don't care about the show. They don't care about the fans. They sure as hell don't care about the history. They don't care about their own. They're not even consistent within their own show. Never mind the rest of the list. So, with the exception of Lower Decks and probably Prodigy, because they seem to be doing okay, for live action, Star Trek canon ended in 2005 with the last episode of Enterprise. Anything else after that is corporate attempt at doing Star Trek. It's not Star Trek. I don't give a rip. Don't tell me anything about, oh, they own it. They do it. And they're running into the damn ground. They don't know what they're doing. They never have known what they're doing. And when they thought they were going to bring it back in the 80s, they were going to do it with Roddenberry or not. And they're going to, okay, this will work. Yeah, get kids on the Enterprise. They're going to have this basically, cadets running the ship. And it's going to be Animal House in space, basically. And when they called up Roddenberry, and he thought, look, I could do a better show than that now. And he's surprised with it. Could you, please? Because they were pulling their hairs out trying to just to get to that far and make it work. And he kind of talked himself into coming out of retirement, basically. So that's how he got Next Generation. And they didn't learn a damn thing. They did, the point, the whole, go forward. Don't live. You can refer to the past. You have it as a back history. They established that with the Menagerie. You established a back history for the Enterprise and who was captain before Kirk and all that. That two-parter episode, besides being a major time saver and money saver, also established really a large part of the whole concept of Star Trek's canon and backstory. Because everyone's going bitching about backstory. Really, backstory is just your back. Canon is just a fancy word for your backstory. It's staying consistent to that. And these guys can't even stay consistent within an episode of their own stuff. And a lot of times they'll contradict themselves within the same episode. So it's no surprise they're passing resemblance to the old shows. But they don't care. They're in it for the money. The only shows that seem to give a rat's ass about the entire Star Trek legacy is Lower Decks. and again, and Prodigy, because they're actually run by fans. It's the only place where fans are welcome on the professional staff of Star Trek in their little world of the franchise. The rest of it, screw it. They don't care. Although again, something that I don't want to, because something I was, taught in broadcasting school. It doesn't matter how big of an idiot the guy you're replacing is. Doesn't matter if the jock ahead of you didn't know, Elton John from Jim Croce or the Rolling Stones from Jerry and the Pacemakers. Doesn't matter how big a screw up he was. Even a big moron like that will have fans. And they will let you know about it when you come in and kick that mic on. Hey, where's so-and-so? We liked him. Doesn't matter if there are only 2 people out there in this guy's fan base. They're going to make their presence known. And that's what we got now is these people who like this crap now. They're making their presence known. And unfortunately, they seem to think this is who you're catering to. But that, as soon as that goes off the air, when they filmed their last episode, that's it. No one's going to be following this crap in Discovery or Picard or even Strange New Worlds, I think, 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Whereas I think we'll still be having conventions celebrating the original series and Next Gen and DS9 and Voyager and Enterprise. And Lower Decks, by catering to and plugging into the original war and staying true to that, they're going to be along for the ride. And unfortunately, that's the future of the franchise right now. It's with Lower Decks. The rest of the crap is crap. Just forget it. Now, I did tell BJ I will continue to tinker around with it because I've been with this stuff too long. Okay, I dove too much. I got original copy, the fan produced version of the Concordance. I got like 3 copies of the Valentine version. I got a foreign version of the 90-something one, mainly because I got a binder over here somewhere with every version of it in a 3-ring binder, and I managed to find a dirt cheap copies of the modern printings. So I got to put a 3-hole punch in it and put them in a binder. And I also got a couple issues of Ruth Berman's fanzine, the Trek and Alien thing, where she has some criticisms about the original Concordance. Man, they talking about how Bijo seems determined to categorize every proper noun in the Star Trek universe. But I really, I've gone too far into this. I got all this stuff. I got a rough form of what I lumped the Concordance in. It borrows from the original printed ones. Mostly it's from the 76 version, the Valentine version. Because that's kind of like the ideal version right there. It was set up right, 2 columns each side, fan art throughout. And borrowing a lot of that. And also, I even got Bijo's galley version, where she has notes all through. Why is this? What's this blank space doing here? Why isn't there a picture here? What happened to the picture I recommended for you? That sort of thing. So I'm going to keep putting around with this, and maybe for the 60th, I'll get something out online. But it started as a fan version. It started as a fan project. It's gone back to a fan project, basically. And hopefully we'll all be around to see it. Bijo and John included. They were they started with this thing, but again, they got other fish to fry. They're into an assisted living thing in Chula Vista. The California Veterans Program out there set them up there because their daughter couldn't keep up with them anymore. So anyway. I'm sure they'll still get to conventions when they can, but it's been a long time, folks. Okay, it's kind of up to us now to pick up the pieces and carry on from best we can. But the state of the franchise, frankly, I don't want to say Star Trek is dead. Because like I said, you still got Lower Decks that are keeping true to the faith there. And the Orville is, so that's basically Star Trek under an assumed name, with the serial numbers removed for a while. But under the proper Star Trek title, Star Trek banner, forget it. It ain't it. He's never going to be it. They don't care about being it. They're just as soon the old guys like me just die and make room for their old new brainwashed idiots that come in to buy up anything with a Star Trek label on it. But there's no future in that. You can't build a franchise on that type of fan base. You would say, why is canon so important? Basically, I don't know how many else people are aware of something called a pine beetle. It's a bug that'll burrow into a pine tree and start, kind of like termites, except a little sneakier. Because for a while there, the tree looks fine. But then, after a while, you notice some of the needles are turning brown. And eventually, it's like the tree's been eaten all up inside, and you just knock it over. Big old gigantic pine trees just kick it and fall over because there's nothing left inside to maintain any kind of structural integrity. That's basically why you want to maintain canon, because otherwise there's nothing holding the thing together. Modern Star Trek has as much story integrity as episodes of South Park. All they need is an ensign Kenny McCormick to die every episode and come back with no explanation. They don't care, and they're not gonna care. As long as they're getting paid, they're gonna keep doing what they're doing. And because now with the streaming world, the old rules don't apply. We're gonna get 5 years of Strange New Worlds, whether we like it or not, whether it's any damn good or not. They're gonna keep churning this crap out for the home video market and for content for the service. They don't care. The numbers are irrelevant now. So it's like, well, it must be successful. They're getting renewed. No, they're renewing the stuff before it even premieres. Ratings don't matter anymore in the streaming world. It's totally upended the entire scheme of how things work. And so now they can hide the numbers. They can say it's the best original series. Well, it doesn't matter if it's trailing behind 20-year-old episodes of Gunsmoke, or even I see numbers compared to the original old series. With the original Star Trek, Next Gen. How does it compare to that? How many people are watching that compared to your new crap? There aren't that many original shows, for one thing. Okay. So it's a pretty small field to compare to. Is that you're the most watched original show? Okay, well, compared to what? If more people are watching an All in the Family episode of 1979, you ain't impressing me, okay? Or if they're tracking down F Troop, guess what? So yeah, if we want to keep this going at this point, we need to treat this period like it was the 70s, when there really wasn't anything out there except what we've already got. Granted, we have a lot more now than we did in the 70s. Back in the 70s, it was the original series up until 73, in which we had the animated series, but they didn't stick around long, so it was kind of like, well, for the most part, it was still mostly the original series and some books. And then the movies hit, and the first one was a big hit, but it was a little lacking in areas, mainly because it was not a finished film. They just finally finished the damn thing. You can see it on Paramount Plus, the 4K version. That is finally the finished movie. So I don't want to hear any more about the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut was a rough cut. There was stuff in there that wasn't supposed to be there. There was a lot of stuff that was supposed to be there that wasn't there. Watch the 4K version. That's your finished movie, finally. That's why they went back to the old Gulf and Western. They go, this is what the movie that should have come out in 79. But after that, it's like, we're done. It's like, I'm still downloading. I don't know why. I'm probably never going to I'm not even bothering to watch Kenobi. Because I've seen enough reviews on that, and it's like, watched how they eviscerated him. It's like, nope, this is bad fanfic. It doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. So I'm probably wind up deleting that because I don't want to see Kenobi, neutered like that. And it's like, all for the sake of a character that even that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's like, forget it. No, nobody really needed this this series. Shifted into Star Wars. It's like no one really wanted a Kenobi series in the first place. So I think a lot of it is just filling out contractual obligations that's set up under Kathy. They'd already signed the paperwork to do a Boba Fett series and a Kenobi series. And, well, get the Mandalorian eventually back, so hopefully pick back up on that, but everything else, like, forget it. I'm just hoping that finally, eventually, they can bring back George and redo episodes 7, 8, and 9, something more in keeping with what he had in mind, and get a proper end of the movie. And maybe somebody in their notes are doing the new Knights of the Old Republic. Because, all right, the High Republic? No, you were high if you're going to get us to buy this. But that's another franchise. So on a personal level, I'm moving stuff in. I finally got my chair, which is good because the patio chair I was using collapsed on me when a tech guy was here. We were installing a new phone for Steph, and he had been sitting on it, and then I sat down on it, and it just... And I'm not that heavy, but then and this guy was actually probably a little heavier than me, but he had been sitting on it, and I sat down and crap, it just collapsed with no warning. So I've gotten a couple chairs out of storage, so at least we have something here. And I, got some more stuff here. Got a cooler here. Whole bunch of reference books here, but and a bunch of DVDs and some books. And we're slowly, dismantling the storage units, getting stuff pulled out of there. There's a local groups on here that once we can arrange to, feed the guys with some, get some pizzas. I'm gonna get together a group of them and get a U-Haul truck and just empty that damn thing at once. And then I can worry about the others, because we got 2 storage units. One of them is looks Fibber McGee's closet on steroids, unfortunately. Because part of the thing, when you're basically told you have a week to find a new place, it's like, in what universe is that even possible? Even if we had money, we didn't. That's why we've been on the road for 5 freaking years. Thank you, Brenda, you little twit. Anyway. But it's going to be a while. I just want to get one unit empty, and then we'll be using that one again for a little bit of storage for other things. But once that's done, that's gone. That saves $150 a month. And but then you let the Section 8 voucher come through, and we can actually afford to stay here without me having to go out and do anything else. Now I can concentrate on this channel. Anyway. That's about it, though, because I don't want to keep beating the dead horse further into the glue state if I have to. But like I said, hopefully we get paid this week, so we'll get a little more furniture and at least get a couple tables, one for the computer here, and for the computer gear coming soon, and then back there set up some model stuff. I'm going to start prepping the 350 Enterprise. It's sitting up there on the shelves, and sort of see the front of the primary hull sticking out. Start getting some prep work done on that. Mainly I'm going to focus on get the engines set up right. Because I got some ideas. I'm going to get them set up right. And again, they'll be done. It's what I've been wanting to do ever since I got that damn video. Get that model. Do building series of building videos. So it'll be like 5 years in the making, sort of. And links down below, PayPal especially, but also I'd like to get the Patreon going up again. I do need to pay more attention to it, but what the hell am I going to do with it? But, get the Patreon back up to sustainability. And there's other links down there. Subscribe Star is still frozen at about $49.75, and it doesn't pay out until $50. All I need is like a quarter to at least pay out once. So that's the story of this whole thing. It's like, we're just that close to them. Nope. But yeah, one day there will be an updated version of the Concordance, and it will stay within the mandate of just stuff pertaining, with the original series, and then the whole purpose of a concordance, people tend to forget, is to show how everything works together. It's not just a list. It's not the encyclopedia. But there's also a good reason why the encyclopedia weighs about 50 pounds and is 2 big volumes, because there's a lot of material. It's a backbreaking thing trying to put this together. But a concordance is supposed to show how it all works together. Is in accordance with each other. It's in concord. Everything fits if you figure out how to get everything lined up right. And that's why JJ Trek and anything under, in Discovery and Picard and Strange New Worlds ain't going to be in it. It's not just a matter of fact I think the shows suck. It's because they don't fit. And it's not worth it trying to make them fit, because you end up making a mockery out of the entire thing, because you got to go... The pretzel logic you got to go through to try and reconcile Discovery and Strange New Worlds. This stuff is between the cage and where no man has gone before. And you're going to try and just idiotic crap in between those 2 episodes and have it fit? It don't. And there's no way you can be intellectually honest and say it does. So, don't even tell me about that. And I'll delete your comment immediately if you try it, okay? Because I'm tired of the other. But yeah, I don't want to, again, beat up a dead horse any further than it already is. It's already, into Elmer's territory anyway. So, all right. Links down below. I might stream from the fortnight later, and now that I've finally got the internet thing set up right to allow gaming, because that was part of the problem. Hey, I'm trying to, I had to check a box on the thing and say, hey, we're gaming. Oh, okay. And now I'm back to just regular crappy connections, instead of where it's like it's a slideshow, and not even a fast one. Now at least I can attempt to make a game of it. So. And we will talk at you later.